Oh. No, this one.
Hey everyone, your girl is here. So obviously coming to you guys today now, you guys will obviously see it is a Wild Wednesday. So I wanted to come on and share these videos in reverse. So obviously this video now is about 2 o'clock. So it'll be 2 o'clock and then like 10:30, 11:30, 12:30. Well, really actually like 10:30 to 10:50, those videos. And then it'll be obviously then the rest of the afternoon here, because me and her might go out and have some lunch. I wanted to come on and share obviously as well. I didn't obviously do that as well just because of what I had kind of had happen in October with my boss calling me a lot of times. But sometimes, and I thought it was an emergency, sometimes though people can send like a really long text because they're sharing something exciting, right? It doesn't always have to be like a crisis type situation. Like a person can honestly be happy and then like super excited but not have the time to call you, right? Maybe they don't want to be loud and boisterous, right, on the bus, right? Maybe they're taking the bus home, right? So they send you a really long text full of excitement, right? And you're vacuuming, right? And you don't of it, well, maybe you hear it ring or ding, right? Your notification, or you get it on your wrist, right? So you look back and you just type okay because you're simply just vacuuming, right? You're cleaning, right? You're gonna read the entirety of it, but you wanted to let them know that you got it though, right? So you said, okay, or got it, right? It's kind of thing. And now they're bummed because all they could hear or all they can see is the text, right? So, and that also kind of goes off, kind of like, well, obviously it happens with wording a lot too. But not as often as like, text, right? Like I'd said with, it's not like a spiritual blessing, but it's knowing that you're okay, right? Like I had said with the operator, right? Underneath all of that was, yeah, I mean, it's true, right? So maybe you should just say, yeah, it is true, and acknowledge your own part in that, right? Like I had some help, right? So yeah, obviously it is like that sometimes, even too with words, right? Because like if you stand up to somebody, maybe through an email, right? And even emails can sometimes kind of sound like that. Like for example, if the Pittsburgh Marathon wrote back, okay, glad you, whatever, like sometimes it can sound, my grandma and I had that talk before too. A lot of times it is, on other people. Like she had to write to somebody that was in human resources, and obviously that can be a very hard job, right? She obviously knows that because she worked at the newspaper, right? And you guys know that was her story of where was she when the world stopped turning. So yeah, where were you when the world stopped turning Wednesday? Yes. So obviously, and I had to remind her that sometimes, it would be, that's actually on them because they should be happy, right? It's kind of like I had said before, with being grateful. It's like, yeah, I have all these people going off on me all the time, and now for somebody to finally say, hey, the postage took 7 days, I'm sorry that it wasn't postmastered and you didn't get it in time. She's like, well, that sounds kind of nasty to say that to somebody. It's like, no, actually, that would be on them, actually, because that would be one of those times where they should say, again, I have all this bullshit going on all the time, and now I finally have somebody who is just very polite and says, I'm sorry for the mistake, that's mail, I'll do my best and I'll get it into the mailbox, right? Because a lot of those places also have like their own mailbox right out front, right? So if it's not in that post office or in that area, right, their own post office or mailbox, right, then it has to be postmastered by a certain date. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, just wanted to come on and also share that. So I, could have said, something, and then even if I did say, that didn't seem like her name, right, that I knew, and know, or knew and know, or still have a memory of, something like that. If I put still have a memory of, that doesn't mean that I thought she was stupid, right? That I knew, that doesn't mean like she's a terrible person, right, as well. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's pretty cool, Wild Wednesday twist, where were you when the world stopped turning twist, with yesterday. So, yeah, it'll be really, really good here, but I'm going to go ahead and get going, wait for my gram to come on out, and probably just edit this video, honestly. It's 15 minutes worth, so I'll just edit this video, and yeah, I'll officially get going. Just want to come on and share that little snippet as well. So, and yeah, that's actually a brand new edition. I've never actually shared about the long text. Or maybe I did. I'm trying to remember. Maybe it was with the, no. Because that kind of also, that text, right, with the So convo, kind of also went off the boss at the first job at the new place, right? Except they weren't super, super, super long, but they were somewhat fast just because, I knew how I felt about it, right? And I was set in my ways about it, set in my beliefs, right, about it. She had, maybe because they were super fast, she was just like, are you okay? Right? So, yeah, and also possibly, again, that goes off, she just plain didn't know how to handle it, and that obviously showed as well. So, yeah, I kind of thought that was cool, right, to wrap all of those things into, like, a full, wrap, right? Wrap everything into a wrap Wednesday, Wild Wednesday with wrapping everything into a wrap Wednesday. No, Wild Wednesday wrapping everything into a wrap. There we go, guys. Wild Wednesday wrapping everything into a wrap. I love that. Alright, guys, I'll have, like, the little wrap emoji. Alright, yeah, that'll be cool. Alright, guys, anyhow, I'm officially gonna get going, and then I'll probably make, the Florida project, review once I'm done. So, anyhow, talk to you guys later. Hey everyone, your girl is here. So it's now officially 10:24. It's officially time to roll. We are officially now going to watch my movie. Obviously, I had a blonde moment Alyssa, right? So unfortunately, I obviously remember how I watched those story times, right? And just kind of like an educational, right, on the other story time, right, which I'll eventually get to sometime. Like I said, from time to time I watch those kind of story times. So obviously my, and actually as well, I don't ever sleep with it charging because you can see right over here, the red dot, right? Obviously turns blue, right? During, whenever it's done charging. And obviously in my room then, it's a pretty bright light whenever it's completely dark in here. And obviously, it hinders with my sleep, right? They say, like, the blue light filters and all of that. So, unfortunately, like I said, I haven't had it on the charger at all. Definitely didn't have it on the charger when I was in Pittsburgh. So, I'm down to, like, 39%. I probably should have just plugged it in first thing this morning, but I was busy getting in the groove, right? Right back in the groove. So, unfortunately, it has to charge, but it should be charged by now. So I watched 2 of That Girl Gatto's videos, and then, yeah, now we'll officially go ahead and take care of that. I also did write to Haley Keys, I also did my medication minder, and obviously started my laundry for today. So it's definitely a little bit later of a start to start the movie. It's 10:30, but we'll still be done in time for to go with my gram. So, because we're going to leave here at 1, and then we'll officially, like I said, try to do the silverware and all of that stuff. So, definitely a slower start to the day because of the blonde moment, right? So, the blonde moment Tuesday lingers. So, it would be, or what a lingering blonde moment Wednesday. There we go, yes. Because my blonde moment yesterday, yeah, there's just a lot of stuff. And then obviously I'll have to take my shower then tonight. I obviously only took one on Sunday after the race, so definitely have to get a shower tonight. I was going to take one last night, but, I wanted to have a celebration and visit with my gram. So, yes, obviously we'll have to, do that obviously tomorrow. And then obviously finish the rest of the video and get it up. It was a quick and easy video to get produced, but, you know. And then obviously it was only myself, and I did have customers come through rather later. You know, it was like 7:40. I'm like, people, come on. So, yeah, I obviously didn't get out till later, right? And obviously you guys heard that. So, yeah, the customers kind of got in my way, but we'll get a shower tonight, you know. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for the morning updates. The That Girl Gatto, was kind of an addition into what I was saying, because a lot of the things that they were saying, right, kind of like my safe internet practices, like they were definitely things you would have to be deliberately searching, right? You know, so that's in addition to, okay, if somebody says that, is that them encouraging, or is that them just sharing that it exists and knowing that there's one in every crowd that even if you didn't share, don't search beforehand, that there would be some person, right, who would hear that, you know, right, yeah, and then he would go in. Remember that one person where the OnlyFans was murdered or something like that? And he says, okay, and her actual name or something, or I've been saying her actual name, her stage name was da-da-da. Right, now don't go search that, right? Don't go, right? So yeah, whether you add that beforehand, adding it beforehand is kind of, there's more things going for you of you're just sharing what everybody knows, right? There's one in every crowd, so there's bound to be one person, right, who's gonna do it, even if you don't say, hey, don't go look that up, right? Yeah, but these ones were crazy. Like, you had to actually, it was like 888 64 AE or something like that. It's like, yeah, of course, yes, you have to deliberately. So those where they say, hey, don't search this, and it's things that are way off the book, right? It's not like words that can go downhill really quickly, right? Like I had said before. So yeah, those are times where there's more actually going for someone who says, you want people to look this up, right? Yeah. So that's really crazy, to have a Wild Wednesday, right? And add on to that, right? My safe internet practices no, that was a Saturday. Yeah. But you guys get the point. So it's like, that's a Wild Wednesday too, because obviously, you know, I just chose her this morning out of all my subscriptions, right, to watch. And yeah, that's crazy, guys. Wild Wednesday indeed. So it still says that it's charging. I'm going to open it up and see what percentage it's at. Let's look. Perfect, guys. Perfect. 99%. Oh, what is that? Is that Crater Lake? No. Oh, never mind. Ooh, I like that too. No, it didn't expire. Yeah. It kind of looked like, what the heck? Oh, all these are, all these are still up. That was last night, whenever I went through, and listened, or looked for me and then screenshotted it quickly, because I didn't, screenshot it right at that time that I had said that yesterday. And then this, also I was watching, I think it's fun, like the commentators too, right? Because that's the one thing about watching the game live, is that you never actually get to hear the commentators. So it's like, well, obviously you get to see, you know, if something big happens, right, that the commentators are talking about, yeah, you get to see it, right? They showed it on the Jumbotron, right? 7 straight walks. But yeah, anyhow, I'm officially going to buy this now, and then, yeah, we'll officially go ahead and get going. So, it's definitely a good morning here, you know, so, nice little tea here this morning, Florida reminders. And did also look, briefly, you know, about the best times to visit Georgia and all of that. And I did also, speaking of Georgia and obviously my trip coming up this fall, I did also have a goal that I want to do. So I want to save at least $200 every month. Maybe this month it'll only be $100, right, by the end of the month. And then in June, I don't have that many things coming up, and my days off, I'm gonna bang stuff out on my days off. So I still get my full 4-day work week in, and those paychecks, the full paychecks, right? So my normal full paychecks, that would be. So yes, not the altered for paychecks, the full paycheck. So I'm gonna save then 200 in June. I'm gonna try for 200 in July, even though obviously July I am going hog wild, right, with my Super Lush Life. So that would be 200, 400, like 500, 500 by July, and then I mean it's gonna be it's gonna be pushing it a little bit, but that's 500 by July, and then August, September, and really I have pretty much all of October, and I don't need to like perfect it the first time, but because it said like for South Carolina, it said a lot of them, like where I was in the mountainous side, that's like mid-October. I was like, what? It's the same as Pennsylvania? What? No, that can't be right. Because that's not what I saw on those Fox weather reports, right? So, but once you get out to like the coast, right? So, I'm trying to remember what the heck the name of the town was that was just outside Myrtle Beach. It said it right. It was like, I don't want to say like Ashland, but that wasn't right. Anyhow, but yeah, like that area, that would be really, really nice driving through, that part of the, I don't think that was Myrtle Beach Highway anymore. It turned into another road. And I think it's once you leave the county. I couldn't remember exactly. But yeah, that would be really, really nice to drive through there. But that's not until mid-November, it said. What? So yes, guys, sorry about the grammar interruptions, but yeah, that would be like, like late November, it said. I was like, what? So that's insane. But yeah, we'll officially figure it out, and do a little bit. I don't want to like spoil it too, like you don't want to completely look at the pictures, right, online, right? Just how I didn't look fully. I mean, I looked a little bit, like maybe the first, 10 or 15, right? But that was it, right? Like that's all the photos that, well, again, because they come in clusters, right? So it was like maybe the first 10, and I was like, this looks like a decent trail, but I didn't like spoil it for myself, right? And look at all of them, right? Like that just takes the fun out of, you already know what you're going into, right? So you got to make it fun, right? So yes, obviously I will have to, figure out, based upon the Fox weather thing that I saw, that even like Georgia was late November, so like right before Thanksgiving time. And remember I had said that then about the happy holidays, right, with the orange and red leaves, right, with the turkey. It's like, yeah, people down south get to have that. People in Pennsylvania, they have bare trees, right? So they have to use artificial, right? Right. So yeah, we'll officially figure it out, guys. But I'm officially going to go ahead and get watching. It is now 10:37. So yeah, definitely want to get this up before my grandma and I go, which will be at 1 o'clock. We're leaving here. So yeah, definitely want to take care of this and get this. And I'll talk to you guys really, really soon in 1 second your time. Also, really quickly, if you guys also saw yesterday, right, I tried to, again, it was kind of like an acceptance, but also knowing that it still could exist, right? So I worked my way into, right, and want to just see how it goes, right, if she likes to comment or responds to any comments. But that kind of goes off what I had said. I'm trying to remember. That was like last fall sometime. It was right around right around when I watched my movie, actually, I think. Yeah, right. Yeah, because then I had used the example of the only time, right, that we would ever get back in the groove of talking, right, would be like, for example, maybe we both go to a movie, right? We both have the same movie in mind. We both go there at the same time, and that's the only seat that's left, right, is the seat beside her. That could happen, right? So yes, like I had said that before. So that is also kind of like good on that social skill because I didn't ask any questions, right? Like I was wanting a response. I kind of made statements, right? Which statements also are, to an extent, statements can be open-ended, right? Like, I hope all is well. You really seemed not quite like yourself, right? You didn't seem like her name. Well, you didn't seem like the location one that I knew, right? I'll say it like that. Yeah. So you didn't seem like the location one that I knew, right? And then give them a chance because that is a statement, right? Like I said with the so conversation, just make statements how someone's supposed to respond. You're right, 6 equals 6. What else? I don't know. I just know 6 equals 6. Right, yeah, just make statements, yes. So making statements ends it entirely a negative thing in that case because they are open-ended statements. Do you know what I'm saying? But the other one, I mean, it's totally irrelevant to, what the bulk of that, right? And yeah, you guys get the point. So if it's totally irrelevant, then yes, a statement is a statement and it's not open-ended, right? But if it's relevant, a statement is a statement and it is open-ended at that point. So yeah, you're not actually asking questions and you're kind of letting up to them, right? Yeah, so statements can be questions then too. Although it's not, are you depressed? It's, you didn't seem like yourself, which obviously can get into, again, a conversation. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And people only make it different, right, if you choose to make it different, right? Like I had said, with apples and oranges, they're only saying that because they're delusional to reality themselves, right? Like I said with Charlie Kirk, right? Well, it's like, well, my dad isn't dead right now, so it's not the same. Okay, but okay, so actually that statement is you being delusional to reality that your dad isn't immortal, right? So, an awaiting, right, grave, right, is somehow different. I thought death equaled death, right? Whether it's 5 years down the road, right, or already happened, right? Death equals death, right? It would be the same as the nonsense with Terry, right? So it's like, okay, well, Terry was death by gunshot. Okay, and he was actually just this little bit more, I mean, I don't know if it didn't say, it doesn't say that he took his life. It just says unexpectedly at home. Okay, well, why is it way out here in Altoona, 3.5 hours away, right? It doesn't make sense. Well, close to 3, actually, from Altoona. They can easily get on the turnpike and just go down. But yeah, down there at exit 1, because that's actually the exit that I take. But then I take US 30 to 70, and then 270, 495, 95. Yes, anyhow, guys, yes. So it's like, okay, so it's only different because you want it to be different, right? So whenever somebody shoots themselves, right, obviously their heart stops too, right? Okay, so my heart stopping without a face that can't be recognized is different, right? I thought, again, death equaled death, right? Same with the nonsense topic, right? So a human body equals a human body, except now we add on a different term, right? So human bodies are human bodies, but there is a piece of gold, right, on the human bodies, right, that, makes that, like, if you decide to change the gold, right, or alter gold, right, it's from the pits of hell, right? Okay, so the human body is the human body with gold, right? So I guess that needs to be a new universal standard too. Do you know what I'm getting at? So anyhow, guys, nice little 5-minute addition on that. Let me go ahead and watch my video now, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Here we go. The Florida Project. I also probably could have just brought my charger the whole way over, honestly. Here we go. Florida. Here we go. Well, it is what it is, huh, Momo? Well, it is what it is. That fits that perfectly. To an extent. I mean, we shouldn't just accept it forever, but it's the new normal. Then we go back to the majority of the time normal. It is what it is.
and I'm looking around trying to find it.
Get something with for an address book or a phone.
It's so old that the alphabet is worn
You
off.
wore it off.
And it's now has so many things stuck in it. I have to take a gum band to put around it. And you know, there's so many old numbers in there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you almost want to start over again with a
Yeah.
clean slate.
I didn't get it from the keys though.
I know that for a long time, when I got married the first time, we had a little, like a recipe box that had like those tabs in it, and then we did it all on index cards.
That's an idea.
So that it was for everybody that got invited to the wedding and all that. So I probably threw it away years ago because half the people, moved about 1 million times, and we all have cell phones now that, we're not on that.
And
Yep.
you know, like usually
tell
I
I
knew
grew out
everybody's phone number.
just with one.
You know, it just come out of my head. But nowadays, because you have them all programmed in,
Yeah. I know my phone number.
This is
I know my
South
wife's
Carolina.
phone number. I know the phone number to the store. That's it. My mom moved 2 years ago, and I don't know her number anymore. After 55 years, she changed her phone number, and I have to just type mom into my phone. My dog.
Hey everyone, your girl is here. So coming to you guys today now. Obviously you guys can see I'm officially now home, and also I went ahead, my package came, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna hang that up tonight. And then you guys can see, obviously this wreath is gonna get moved over just a little bit, and then we'll have a perfect combination. And then I just gotta wait on my vanity towel, and everything in here is gonna be looking top of the line, guys. I am so in love with this look already. Oh my gosh. I could probably even flip it around, and just do my shoots like here too. I don't have to always do the mirror look. But unfortunately, guys, you guys just saw I was just over 5,000 steps. So unfortunately, I have to obviously bang out for a whole probably 45 minutes. I'm going to be walking here, getting my exercise for today. So that's what happens whenever you take it slow, right, with your tea, right, and then you watch a 2-hour movie, right, after your computer charged, and now you drive around with your gram for 4 hours. So yeah, obviously that's gonna happen. So anyhow, guys, I'll officially go ahead and get going. Oh my god, this is looking so freaking awesome in here, guys. I'm so excited for the 4th of July shoots, and even already coming up very soon, we have Memorial Day shoots. Oh my gosh. Guys, this is going to be so good. I am so happy and excited to put that up with you guys as soon as I get all my steps. So here we go. Hey everyone, your girl list here. Holy cow, look at my heart rate going down. That is some fantastic relaxation, guys. Holy cow, that is insane. But hey, that's what athletes have, right? With their heart rate and stuff. And it's checking. Yeah, it's pretty sweated up in their boob sweat, right? Anyhow, guys, so coming to you guys today now, that goes off exactly what I had said in Miami to the girls, right? Because they said they were walking for 2 hours. I was like, yeah, you probably have just about as much as me then, right? Well, the one girl was walking. I don't actually remember her name. No, her name was Jess. Yeah, her name was Jess. One had an N. It was like, it's one of those, I'm trying to remember the nationality. There's like a Nazahani or something like that. What the heck nationality is that again? I can't remember. Nazahani. I think that's Italian. Anyhow, yeah, I think. And then obviously like Vladimir, right? You can usually tell that's like Russian, right? Or Volodymyr, right? Like Zelensky, the president of Ukraine. I can't say his name right now. And then obviously Vladimir Putin, right? And there's a whole bunch of others. Vladimir is obviously Russian based, but I think Nezahani. And anyhow, guys, like I said, it doesn't matter their names, obviously. That was just a very fun, on vacation kind of interaction and correspondence, right? So, anyhow, guys, that was really cool though, like I had said, because you guys will see from 5 to 6, it was like 59.86. So that's usually an hour equals 6,000 steps, so 1,000 in 10 minutes. So basically 100 every minute. And obviously, sometimes you do a little bit more, because I obviously really book along. But anyhow, I wanted to come on. This has been a fantastic afternoon, obviously, since this afternoon here with my gram. I don't know, it's just got a burst of energy, right? So anyhow, I wanted to come on and share, obviously, a little bit more than usual, right? It's really up there. So anyhow, I wanted to come on and share about the Florida project. So I actually had to cheat actually, because I didn't quite understand it. I mean, I got a little bit of an idea, but Haley Keys obviously did a little bit different. Her explanation, because they didn't actually go out on their own, but actually they did though. So Haley Keys was actually on point. She definitely did a good job at see, I remember learning that in school. It's like you have a drawing point, right, where people are on the edge and they really want to read it, right? I forget what that's called. But yeah, so anyhow, Haley Keys did a good job at that. Because yes, they did go on and do what they did. But it all actually revolves, because I was thinking about looking up where it was and being like, how close was I to it? And no, it actually is right near Orlando, and I probably could have picked that up too, because there's a gift shop, it says Orlando gift shop, right? So right around Disney World, right? And anyhow, so there was a really actually good, based upon, what the internet had told me about, it's about the homeless people, right? And the lifestyle that they have. And yeah, a lot of it also, now that I watched that, I also kind of could add with, like I said, they get too confident with it, right? And then they're so confident that they let their guard down, right? So to say. And usually when they let their guard down, people that have good heart, right? Obviously, and have good morals, right? Then they report their bad morals, right? So yeah, obviously that also happened a lot, because she beat up the one woman towards the end. And I got confused, because that guy that was in the start, I thought that he was the mom of the girl who spit right on the car in the beginning. But she was actually the son of the mom who was hooking them up with free food and all of that, kind of under the table, right? So that was, obviously very realistic. Yes, that definitely fits that well. Even if you don't see it with your own two eyes, you can know that you're in a homeless community, right? And the homeless community exists around you, right? And then you can see that they're full, right? And they don't appear extremely starved, and you think, okay, so how are they eating then, right? Yeah, you guys get the point. So that was kind of cool to see. Obviously selling perfumes, yes, probably a lot of them do that. And then obviously getting into, yes, that obviously for money. There was a couple scenes where, they didn't show anything, but they showed, her getting ready, right, and taking photos and all of that. So that was obviously very on point and on par. Definitely a couple things could have been elaborated on, but if they did, it would be a 2.5 hour movie, right? Like the kids burning down the apartment complex, yes. Back talk also, actual back talk and attitude, yes. Definitely needs reprimanded, yes. That obviously is on point too. Because she was like, no, you're her daughter, right? So that also was pretty on point, that's very common, right, for not well parenting, to have that. So, oh my god, guys, I love this so much. Anyhow, so yeah, I'm trying to think what else. Obviously, sometimes or well, obviously them running around a lot is also very, very common. Some of the things definitely you would have been like dropped or removed like right away, like the fire, right? Maybe not spitting on the car at first. Shutting down the power, yeah, maybe that. Yeah, and obviously they did have one scene as well where the guy, there was like a pedophile, right? So yeah, he obviously was in the area, right? So that's also very common because that would be like a place where the predators go. And he did kind of fit the stereotypes of the, right, like old man, right? Not really all with it. You can tell, right, they're just not all there, right? Again, that's my version, right? Because again, it doesn't say welcome to Juvie of Miami-Dade County. No, it doesn't say that. The sign says something else. For some unknown reason, they're called like development centers and stuff like that. Troubled teens for troubled teens and stuff like that. I don't know why somewhere along the line, people said Juvie, but no. All right. So yeah, they did fit the stereotypes. He's like, oh, I thought you were so thirsty, right? Oh yeah, now I'm thirsty. Yeah. Right. I remembered, right, why I came here, right? So that obviously, it shows that there can be hubs for adults and children at the same time, and usually that's where those hubs are, for adults and children at the same time. Most of the time it is separated, but it does also show that they obviously feel upset that it's going to take them multiple years to get to so-called quote-unquote normal life, because obviously she did have to have her daughter taking a bath and have the music up really, really loud while the mom was engaging, right? Yeah, so that also shows somewhat of good, like, parenting, that even good parenting can still exist when the desires, right, to leave that lifestyle are present, right? Kind of like, how I liked, but obviously, again, that one article that I read with the roof man didn't like that. They said it downplayed. Well, no, actually, I actually liked that they showed him having a heart. He's like, because then it shows at least that you're not like a hardened criminal. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's actually, in my eyes, that's really good, right? Because it shows that he doesn't actually want to do it, but he feels like he has no other choice. But clearly he has other choices. Do you know what I'm saying? So yes, it's still severe what he did, right? Hold people at gunpoint and take them into a cooler, but he wants it like totally heartless. Do you know what I'm saying? There's still just that something in him. Kind of like I said, right, with the worthless officers. Yeah, you get a worthless title, but you don't deserve every name in the book. You don't get, a lot of other stuff from me. But, I wouldn't have any issue. I obviously kept my mouth shut during that time, but I wouldn't have any issue, and I don't have any issue, even after the fact, if I saw any of them again and they reminded me, that I wouldn't have an issue telling them straight to their face, you were freaking worthless that day, right? Yes, and, right, like I said, use my grandfather, that I didn't need to sit an hour and have listened to him talk about the war, right? I could have said, oh, I have better things to do with my day, but I did, right? So that shows that I actually do respect the good ones. I call the worthless ones out, right? Anyhow, yeah, and you need to realize that and take a step back and not go to your, realize who you need to talk to, right? You actually talk to the actual criminals like that, not me, right? And go to your assertive task and all that stuff. So yeah, that was also, kind of really, really cool to see that aspect of it too. Yeah, and then a lot of the fights were obviously very, very, like the facial expressions, right, of that girl when she had beat her up was also very, very real, right? Yeah, so there's definitely just a lot of really, really good stuff, honestly. Once that one girl had, stopped giving the food, right? They obviously went to the restaurant and like waited all day. So that was cool to kind of see that, you know, that she still took the order and all of that. Yeah, so it was definitely, you know, like I said, a really, really good movie. I really, really liked it. It was definitely, you know, you can tell that you know, the kids were definitely rambunctious, you know, because it was a chaotic childhood, right? And with a chaotic mother, right? That one's a the good mother, but you know, because the feelings were so strong, right? It was probably maybe easier for her to deal with. Like, I can think of, like, in my own mindset, if I was her, it'd be like, okay, you know, they're young yet they're still, you know, going about the world, right? I know that they're generally safe around here. You know, I mean, you are playing with fire because it only takes one time, right, before you could get charges, right? Obviously, the people who let the children go into with the wolves, right, at Hershey Park, yeah, definitely, right? You need to be alert and aware of your child, right? But obviously, it was, you know, everybody, you know, kind of let the children go with the children, right? Like the girl downstairs, then they became really good friends. Do you know what I'm saying? So, to an extent, you know, it maybe makes it easier because you're like, okay, I got all this time now to myself, and then we'll officially have that bonding time that they were having with the other kids, right? When we're out of this homeless lifestyle. So yeah, it was definitely a really good movie. It definitely put all the emotions and everything that comes in with homelessness, you know, and everything that I had just said. It actually puts it all in a really good perspective. Very eye-opening too, you know. So I definitely agree with it being a 4.7 review because it was a really good movie. So anyhow, guys, I'm officially going to go ahead now and get a shower. To 6:55, so I'm gonna go ahead, and no one's any additions in this, so I'll just include this and then be on my merry way this evening. So probably catch up on a couple more subscriptions. No, I'm not actually going to go into work. I do have to put in a day, obviously. I have a doctor's appointment coming up, so I have to take off for it. But yeah, my app doesn't work, so I have to go in, but I'll do that some other time. So yeah, like I said, guys, it was definitely a wildly in love movie, or wildly in love with the movie. I'm not sure how to put it, but yeah, it was definitely a really good movie, and I can't think of a W, and I already know the title of this video. So anyhow, I'm gonna stop trying to take up time. Like I said, you guys will obviously see maybe some highlights from the rest of tonight, you know, so tomorrow. So anyhow, I'll officially go ahead and I'll get going. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Oh wait, also, I will include my photos. I actually, decreased, or increased it would be, in my time, because last Super Lush Life, because I remembered I had done, it was on a So Far Saturday, right? It was when I was really, really getting past, right, I showed you guys my progression, right, whenever I was looking to see what my fastest 2-mile was, right, and then I broke it right before Florida. So yes, obviously I did look, and I had 4.63 that day, and then obviously 4.67 on the race. So that is crazy. Obviously it auto stopped whenever I was doing my jumping jacks, as it should, and then it didn't. It actually, that would have been the only time. So minus the time that I was doing the stations, you know, it still, you know, was really, really high, obviously. So, and they definitely didn't take more than, you know, it was like almost 8 or 9 minutes. Well, maybe it did. So actually, maybe it was pretty close in time. But yeah, I just want to come on and share that. I'll go ahead and show both photos here at the end. So definitely still really, really good. And even actually better, because I'll have to look at my sleep for that week and then look at my sleep, right? Because for just having McDonald's and less sleep, that is actually really phenomenal, you know? So, yeah, anyhow, definitely could possibly do the Erie half marathon this year, guys. I know, it's a lot to say, but possibly, guys, yes. The Erie half marathon. Whew. Alright, guys, anyhow, I'll officially go ahead and get going, and I'll post those 2 photos at the end. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.